Austin Talks Through the Movie.
There's no snare in my headphones.
You motherfucker. Howdy, I'm Austin Larson, and this is Austin Talks Through the Movie, a supplemental podcast to the Ex-Girlfriend Tattoo podcast. I'm joined today by my guest, a guy that I have known entirely way too fucking long, Camden.
Thanks for having me, man.
Hey, glad to have you here. Oh my god, dude, I have known you since what, 2011, 2012, somewhere in there?
Yeah, way back. I was 17, so yeah, we've known each other for 6-7 years, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time. I actually met you through your brother back when I was doing community theater with him, was going to school with him. Great times, fucking PAX. Oh my god, that kid.
Yeah, he's something else. He's a legend.
He
sure.
He really is, God. And then, and then you and Pax were actually my first roommates back in the day.
Yep.
Back at in the B208.
Yeah, that was an accident waiting to happen. And...
Seriously, I mean, yeah, I'm surprised it was good for as long as it was.
Yeah, I mean, debatable on good, but that was a daily thing. There was, I think, there were a lot more good days than bad, I think.
Definitely, I think overall it was, and I mean, if you look at like where we were, I think that Pax had lived in an apartment before, but I mean, not really with roommates, and I mean, it was a different situation, I mean, but you and I had never lived, like independently before, so all three of us in there, I mean, we grew up a lot. I think like from the first day of that lease to the last day, I mean, all of us had grown so much. I mean, it was...
Oh yeah, no doubt about that.
Like by the end of it, I wasn't getting drunk and putting my fist through doors anymore.
Yeah. The one growth we did was grow all the packs. So.
I thought you were going to say, we just grew mushrooms and shit, Well, I mean, there was mold growing in some of those rooms. Oh, my God.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
And a lot of mushrooms in a lot of those rooms. Oh, my God.
Not for long, though.
Just living in B28, that whole community was just crazy, man.
It was awesome times. Yeah, the whole culture was... Yeah,
seriously.
It was a crazy sitcom that we lived.
Community college dorms. That's all you need to know. Oh my God. And then, I mean, that whole, I think the one summer that we lived there, because you lived there for 2 years, right?
Yep.
I lived there, it was you, Pax, and I on the first lease. And then that second lease was you, and that kid from what, Kalispell?
No, it was... I don't remember where that kid was from. We went through a couple rooms.
Because I was going to say, I remember like the kid who replaced me, the joke was, oh, look, he's more of a Pendleton kid than an actual Pendleton kid is.
Yeah, no, that's probably the only way to describe it.
But the summer I turned 21, the one summer where both of us were still living... Like we were doing mushrooms and going hiking like once a week, right? About I know it was frequent.
It was frequent. We had a good time.
It was oh my God, so much fun.
It was a highly religious experience.
Oh my God, yeah. And even right there down at Bowling Pitcher, there was that. I'm sure I could find it again, but you know what I'm talking about. That one rock face. Was it 2 years ago on 420 when that goose bit my hand, or was that last year?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
2019, right?
Yeah.
So 2019 or 2018?
Actually, yeah, it was 2019, yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I remember you were up here, and then, I remember that we were just climbing up there for old time's sake, and that fucking goose was right there up top. I got there first, and he just fucking got me right on the hand, little bastard.
That's gotta scare the shit out of you, climbing a cliff and something bites you.
Especially a cliff that I haven't climbed, like, sober ever for firsties, but also a cliff that I haven't climbed, at all in years.
Right. That's what always makes me feel like, by the way, bowling pitchers, some of the best climbing there is.
Oh my God,
I love bowling it's not a hard climb at all.
It's not. Like, I'm not a climber by any means, and I can scale it, quickly, I guess.
But people get so scared when you take them there sometimes.
Oh, yeah. And remember, there was that third kid.
In the dark, drunk.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that big a deal.
Because I was going to say, there was the third kid there. I don't remember who it was from 420, but yeah, no, he wouldn't go up with us. He's like, I'll break my neck. And I'm like, dude, I never have, I'm like...
He's been up there before, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, honestly, it's like, and I know I'm using a comparison to this film again because it's one of my favorites, from fucking Pet Sematary, like when fucking Judd's taking, when Judd's taking him up the hill and stuff. He's like, oh, don't worry, Lois, I know every handhold and foothold, we'll get up there just fine. They do. But Cam, you're one of the hosts of the Too Good for a Name podcast, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you guys are on Spotify, right?
Yeah, we're on Spotify. We've been kind of taking a break. Obviously, there's not really sports to talk about.
I was gonna
right
say,
now.
yeah, no, you guys are on a bit of a hiatus.
But season 2's coming for sure, especially once college football gets rolling around.
But this hiatus was it related to any of the comments you made about the WNBA on your show?
I don't think anybody ever disagrees with me on my podcast, so...
If you want to clarify right now, please go ahead.
I don't think this is the time or place.
I'm goading him right now. That never happened. Please go check out Too Good for a Name. I'm just being an asshole. No, it is honestly, I mean, I'm not a huge analytical sports guy, but it's accessible in a way, I enjoy listening to it,
Yeah, it's definitely not just straight up sports show. I mean, we talk about all kinds of different things, but it's a sports show that is definitely we're not a bunch of sellouts by a network or something like that, and so we can say what we want, and we have a good time. There's definitely a lot of good conspiracies we talk, and a lot of different, we just go off the hinges sometimes.
Totally, man. All right. Let's see. Before we dive in, I was going to say, between you, Pax, and I, especially at B208, I feel like a lot of the time, it was just us sitting around, not really having much money, so we'd have to scrape together and all pitch in for like a 6-pack or a bowl or whatever,
Oh, yeah.
And we watch a lot of movies. I know that, the three of us, I can't remember off the top of my head, but do you remember the last movie that all three of us went to go see together? Because I honestly can't.
Like see in theaters or see
see in the
total?
theater.
Oh, man.
It's been years.
That's tough. I feel like I've seen more movies with just me and you.
Yeah,
and that was even before we were like close friends. I mean, just because we barely knew each other.
Oh yeah, no, I think remember when bailed on me like fucking that one time? It was it Easter? And you and I went to go see the movie about the sexually transmitted demon.
Yeah, what was it?
It Follows? Jinx.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god, that was so long ago. Yeah, we saw that, and then and I think it was later that year, that summer when you were living down in Pendleton. We saw fucking the Terminator sequel, Terminator Genesis.
Oh God. Yeah, I don't know how I sat through 2 hours of that.
I do. We were both high as shit. It was. I think honestly, that you rolled a blunt, and then I think on the way to Wild Horse, we were just fucking passing it. That's the only thing. Which
never a sober moment.
I was gonna say,
that was a long summer.
Which Pax, love you, man, but that's the opposite. I remember one time Pax and I were going to see a movie, and I was smoking a joint like in the car before we went in, and he was freaking the fuck out, and I just.
That's something. It's almost like clockwork when you smoke with Pax in public. There's something he's gonna freak out about.
Although now I don't know. It's not like that now though, right? I feel like I've smoked with him in public before, and we've been fine.
I've had some interesting times.
God. Well, but yeah, you guys are brothers though, so.
Yeah, also true.
Back at B208, one of my favorite moments with, I know Pax was there. I don't remember if you were there or not, but I remember that we were watching, Pet Cemetery comes up again.
Of
and
course.
Right there in the beginning, like right when Gage Creed's running toward the road, but Judd Crandall stops him. I was taking a bong rip, and were you there for this? Do you remember this? And literally, I'm taking my bong rip, and of course, fucking Mrs. Creed, I can't remember her name. I can't remember her first name off the top of my head. But yeah, she's running over, thanking Judd so much. Oh my God, you saved, And then, of course, before Judd can say, oh, it was nothing, or whatever the fucking line is, fucking Pax, in his best Fred Gwynn impression, just goes, oh, it's no bother. Anything to touch a little boy. And I'm not expecting it, and I laugh so hard while I'm taking the rip that the timing was awful because I had already cleared it, and so, like, the bowl piece is out. My lungs just instantly deflate, and everything just shoots right through the stem. Bong water, smoke, and God. And, like, a fucking half ounce of just nasty-ass, like, wet scoob that was stuck inside the bowl, and just, oh my God. And then Pax and I just look at each other like, did that just fucking happen? And really, I think that's probably what killed our deposit more than anything. I mean, besides me putting my fist through that door, but,
they claimed that there was smoke damage on the walls, which we were trying to refute pretty hard. I think that there's no reason to fucking think that we were smoking the place out like that.
Yeah, and I mean, like, well,
we might not have been able to see into the kitchen from the living room sometimes because it's so cloudy, but
Yeah, that, oh my god. But I mean, like, what, the deposit for that place, it wasn't even a full month of rent. It was...
Yeah, they didn't expect much.
Yeah, I was gonna say, oh man. And then, well, I remember that we had a rule that the only time we could smoke cigarettes in the house is if we were on mushrooms. Which is a pretty genius rule.
I mean, yeah, for the time, yeah, I don't want to step outside when it's that cold sometimes.
Oh my god, yeah, no. And
These
I
winters are
remember
brutal.
the first time you, Pax, and I all did mushrooms together, I remember it ended that we were literally just all sitting on the couch after we had gotten back from hiking or whatever, and we were just fucking watching, I think it was Rachel Ray. It was some cooking show. I think it might have been Rachel Ray or Giada. Was it Giada or Rachel?
I can't remember exactly.
But I just remember that we were just
but...
chain smoking cigarettes and just talking about how much it was going to suck to have to go back to work the next day.
Yep.
It was, but that's kind of...
That's the true beauty of psychedelics, though, when you can truly, like, it's a vacation, you know?
It really is, man.
And you don't have to go far from it. But I usually like to get out and get moving, too.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
just
no,
me.
I personally, I'm the type that, like, I've known a lot of people that enjoy doing mushrooms, you know, and love doing them and stuff, but they, like, stay inside and listen to music, and I'm like, I love music when I'm on mushrooms, but I can't just, no, this is too small. I mean, I knew one kid who told me that he tried going outside on mushrooms, and he was like, outside is too big, but me, I'm like, no, inside is too small, so.
Yeah, I got a good buddy that he said he had never tripped before and gone outside.
Oh,
and so
God.
we took him on our little loop
in.
that we do, you know, and this is off on the west side of the state. But we did a little loop, and I remember him telling me later, like, this is the best trip I've ever had. It's
Dude,
like, yeah, you
seriously.
gotta get out and get moving and change the scenery, you know?
You can't just let your mind, like, rot like that, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, sorry, real quick, before we move on, I think one of my favorite memories with you going to see a movie is when we went to go see Tarzan together. Remember that a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
We were both fucking, I think we were both faded at that point. You worked at the mall, so I caught the bus out there, and then I think you gave me a ride home or something, but I remember halfway through the movie realizing we were watching Tarzan and not The Jungle Book. Because there was that Jungle Book remake around the same time, and I was like, man, when's he gonna fucking sing that Bare Necessities song?
Right.
What's the worst you've ever seen someone get fucked up by power tools? Or industrial equipment or anything like that?
Yikes. That's a tough question. You should have told me this in advance. We were
No,
getting these tough
what?
questions, man.
No.
I mean, there's always the good one with the guy with the corn cob and he knocks his tooth out, but that's not really that gruesome. You know,
Well, I guess
that's replaceable.
Let me rephrase it. Have you ever personally seen anybody get fucked up by, like, heavy equipment or anything?
No, I don't think so, man, to be honest.
Okay, no, I feel it. I didn't actually
You see these hands? They ain't working hands.
You got soft hands from counting money, Hoopa. Nah, let's see. So, I wasn't awake to witness it, but when I was a real little kid, I must have been like 3 or 4, my dad was fixing the lawnmower and something happened, and yeah, I guess like the blade, like, it didn't cut his like finger,
Chopped
but
his dick off?
Yeah, so the blade, like, it went through like his fingers, like, so like on each hand he's got a scar, and I can't remember which finger, but I mean that's pretty gnarly, especially from fucking lawn, and like the fact that it didn't like it, but it went like through. I'm like, oh, that's...
Oh, yikes. I thought of one. Here we go. My cousin, who's actually from Baker City.
Oh god, not Baker City.
He one of the best skiers I've ever met in my life. But I guess when he was young, he's working in a logging mill. Got his foot caught in it, and it cut it off right at the ankle.
Oh shit.
Dude had a prosthetic. Still one of the best skiers I've ever met in my life. Dude's a fucking animal.
Damn.
But of course, his prosthetic, he would it was hollow, so he'd fill it full of liquor and drink out of his prosthetic.
I mean, that's what you do with it, right?
I mean, might as well.
I mean, I don't know. If I were like a cute little white girl amputee, I'd just become like a ruthless drug lord. I mean, like, what? I'm just saying, like, who's gonna search your, like, fucking hollowed out, you know, arm with 13 pounds of heroin in it?
Whoa.
Yeah.
What an idea, Larson.
Right? Here,
Start chopping my legs off.
Right, there you go. I guess for me, well, the only way I'm gonna fit, you know, fucking 100 pounds of heroin, guess I'm gonna have to cut my dick off, but...
Oh.
All right.
This guy's Asian. Don't let him lie to you.
Ask your mother.
Oh.
Actually, no, do not ask. I don't know shit about that. I can proudly say I don't know shit about your mother. But speaking of your parents, though, so your parents, when you were growing up, did they ever leave you and your siblings alone for a weekend while they, you know, went to rehab or Vegas or wherever?
Well, neither of my parents are quitters, so they haven't gone to rehab yet. Yeah, plenty of times. Let's see. I mean, I got the reason I got myself in a lot of trouble early in high school from partying and having so many parties at the house because they would leave. And later on, I just figured out, fuck it. I mean, parties are hard to conceal, but if you want to just get people over and smoke, it'll be a lot easier. So yeah, I got myself in a lot of trouble that way. But yeah, they leave all the time. My family's big travelers. They left me in the dingus one time for a full week, and that was a shit show of a weekend.
Oh my god, I can only imagine.
Yeah, I think, it's one of those, it's back in the day in high school when whenever you get a big sack, it's like, oh my god, this is going to be huge,
Project X.
Right. And then, let's be like, we bought a quarter, like, oh, this is the most weed we've ever seen in our lives. Like,
I feel you, man.
Somehow that quarter didn't last long.
You think? All right, so today's film we're going to be watching is 1988's Woodchipper Massacre, directed by John McBride. Let's see, if I had to sum this film up in one sentence, I guess it really just goes to show that you're never too old for a babysitter. All right, Cam, you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, hope you're enjoying the program so far. Camden, thanks again, it was wonderful having you on. We're watching Woodchipper Massacre on YouTube via Captain Murphy. There's a link in the description for the episode. If you're planning on watching Woodchipper Massacre, go ahead and pause this. Otherwise, enjoy this plot summary from Wikipedia.
3, 2, 1...
John, Denise, and Tom are 3 kids whose father goes away for a business meeting. He leaves them in the care of their aunt Tess, who is a militaristic religious extremist who only lets the kids do homework and chores while preaching to them against dating, staying up late, movies, music, and why their lifestyle is wrong. Tom gets an official Rambo hunting knife in the mail, and Tess will not let him have it. They get into a physical struggle over Tom keeping it, and Aunt Tess accidentally gets fatally stabbed in the stomach. The 3 kids then dismember her body, placing it in the freezer. They then take her body out of the freezer so they can put her in the wood chipper. They grind her body to shreds. They then think it's over, but then Tess's son, Kim, who was recently released from prison, comes to their home and is told that his mother is not here and has left. He is involved in some kind of money wiring deal and came there to get money from his mother. He decides to take monetary value from the children's home and threatens them if they don't give it to him. Denise and Tom trick him outside to the expensive wood chipper, plotting to throw him inside, too. They then lure Kim to look inside. Tom turns it on, and Kim is pushed in by John. John drives Kim's car to the airport to hide the evidence and hitches a ride back. Denise and Tom are raking and mowing the lawn, which John promised his father he would have done by the time he returned home from the business meeting. With only a little bit of time before their father's return, John assists in the raking and mowing. The father then arrives home and sees his children welcoming him on the driveway. All appears normal, and the children get away with the crime. The camera pans back to the wood chips on the ground, and Aunt Tess's bloody ring is lying on the ground when the film ends. The film was shot in 1988, and it took approximately 2 months to shoot. Not including the cost of the camera, the film's budget was approximately $400. Adjusted for inflation, that's roughly $892 today. By no means was it a huge budget, but a fun film nonetheless. So I really enjoyed it, and I really can't recommend it highly enough. If you're in the mood for just a fun, low-budget VHS horror film, look no further. We now return to the viewing in progress.
Wait, is this going to be on the radio?
All right, man. So, what'd you think of the film?
I mean, I stayed awake. That's.
Hey, there you go. That's more than we can say about some. That's
why I hate going to the movie theater, man. It's the comfy ass seats, and then it gets dark, and especially if it's a good one, you're cuddled up with a chick or whatever, and then, my God, man, I pay $25 for a fucking nap.
You're falling asleep? Loran and I are no longer allowed in the downtown AMC.
Why is this, Larson?
You ever heard that Alanis Morissette song? Yeah, well, the roles were reversed. You're welcome. Anyway, so that opening scene, honestly, just especially all the shots of the hands manipulating tools, it reminded me a lot of the opening of A Nightmare on Elm Street, the original one, 1984. I mean, I'm sure you've.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not super well versed in horror films. Definitely have seen my share, but Yeah, no, it was an okay setup for sure.
All right, and why did the dad approach John that way at the Woodchipper? That didn't make any fucking sense at all. Like, literally, there were a billion better ways to approach him. Like, from the side, from the front, anything but fucking that.
I could have grabbed him by the legs, I guess.
Although, that jump shot, it reminded me of at least one, maybe a couple other shots in Sleepaway Camp, which, I don't know, have you seen that film?
Mm-mm.
We've reviewed it on this show before. It's fucking awesome. One of my favorite horror films ever. I can't recommend it highly enough. Speaking of Sleepaway Camp, so many fucking gorgeous mullets in this movie, dude. Oh my god.
I don't know if you call them mullets. I think that was, especially Tom, he's got the true Hillary Clinton cut going. And
You know,
it makes sense with first. I should have seen it coming. First one to kill somebody.
You know, you got a point there. Okay, yeah, it's a little baby mullet, very true. But you know, I mean, John, it's, you know, I guess a lot of people would look at that, wouldn't initially recognize that it's a mullet, but you know.
I just want to say this movie. It's bad advertising with the title, because if you only kill 2 people, it's not a true massacre. You know,
That's really not.
It's a quick weekend.
Like the Woodchipper murders. I mean, it doesn't have the same ring, but I mean, no, definitely, it's and that's,
freezer and grinder.
God, the terrible ad for Grindr. And then that fucking shot with, oh my god, with Tom and Denise talking about, like, when he's talking about his Rambo knife the first time.
Mm-hmm.
When that fucking car drove by, holy shit, they really couldn't have another take there? I mean, literally, it obscures his dialogue so much. It's like, could you guys really not get another take after the car? But, oh my god.
Yeah, I would chalk it up to bad planning a lot on their part, but then again, they got the job done, so they can't complain too much.
I guess honestly, I probably just, but I mean, maybe because it was so early, you know, I mean, I feel like it was fairly early for VHS, like it was shot on VHS, you know.
Mm-hmm.
The pros and cons of the audio was recorded, you know, like alongside the video directly onto the tape instead of, you know, being recorded separately. So I feel like that's like, especially a lot of the interior shots, you heard just essentially white noise just because the mic, you know, wasn't dedicated to like picking up, you know, just the dialogue, that type of thing, or like a lot of the outdoor shots, whenever wind would rustle by, you'd hear really bad. So
yeah, I mean, the sound quality wasn't the greatest, but however, that score was one of the best. I mean, fuck John Williams, that was next level.
No. John McBride over John Williams, yeah. Indie wrestling over indie rock, hell yeah. Oh my god, I haven't taken the train in years, and that's a goddamn shame, because the train is how I got to Spokane, man. We've both had fun stories on the train.
Yeah, especially for me. I remember the first time I came, right before we moved in, I came here, and train got in at like midnight. Of course, I'm not
leaving on the midnight train to Spokane.
I'm not even old enough to drink, and so there's nothing even going on in town except for the bars. And I couldn't, but the next train I was catching was at like 6 o'clock in the morning. So I had to kick it for 6 hours in the train station and walk the streets and see the wonderful people of Spokane.
Oh yeah. Okay, so Aunt Tessa's interpretation of the Lord's Prayer is now officially my favorite version of the Lord's Prayer.
Well, does yelling during prayer, does that, like, is it more effective that way if you scream it?
I mean, Sam Kinison thought so.
Fair point. I mean,
what the fuck were they eating at dinner?
bodies.
Probably, right? Oh my god. And then just, it was almost kind of cute how much authority Aunt Tess had over John. I'm like, isn't he literally an adult who's moved out visiting home? I don't know, like, if I were visiting, like, my parents' house or something, you know, and like, I guess not even my dad, but like, if one of my aunts or uncles said, "You are forbidden from going out," I'd probably be like, "Hey, fuck y'all, I'm leaving now," you know? That's just, what the hell was that, you know? And more importantly, isn't Aunt Tess there specifically, like their dad said, so John can, you know, like, go out and have a good time while he's visiting? And by that, you know, I think he wanted John to go score with that hussy.
Yeah.
You will not leave.
Oh my god.
You will eat what I have prepared. Give it to me, young man.
And then, oh my god. Was
So
it just
smash or pass, Aunt Tess.
Oh my god. Why is it taking me a sec? Holy fuck, you know, instinctively I want to say pass, but I don't know. Is she just going to be like a mean bitch the whole time? That's kind of kinky.
Could be.
Like honestly, you know, maybe if she's shaming me, you know,
You are vile and disgusting. You are going to hell.
I mean, no, I could see a,
She's whipping out a third arm on your ass.
Kinker. Okay, was it just me, or when they're watching that horror movie on Friday night, do those voices on the TV sound a whole hell of a lot like John and Denise?
I mean, a little foreshadowing there, potentially.
I don't know if it's foreshadowing. I think they just didn't have enough people to, dual roles. But maybe, I don't even know. But
sounded a lot like Pax.
Oh my god. But yeah, and a lot of that dialogue when Aunt Tess is yelling at them, it's unintelligible. The TV's too fucking loud.
I mean, what's a horror movie if it's not screaming at you?
Oh yeah, I know, but I guess just for the sake of the film, I guess like if I were doing the audio for that, I really would have tried to get some ADR in there or something. But I mean, I don't know what resources they had, so that's neither here nor there. So Christians have been blaming the media for over 30 years now.
I didn't know it took that long.
Shit, right? I mean, yeah, but they've been doing it since 1988 at least, according to this film. But
It's the devil's music.
oh man, Aunt Tessa's line, "I don't appreciate your tone or your taste in films." Isn't that a Panic at the Disco song? That sounds like a fucking Panic song. And then Tom really had some trouble opening that fucking mailbox. You know which scene I'm talking about, where he just keeps flipping it and nothing happens?
Oh yeah, I mean, you gotta see what good stuff the neighbors are getting.
Yeah, but right? Oh my god! And then
The original pork pirate.
some of Aunt Tessa's blow-ups, they feel a little too phoned in, I mean, I've been yelled at by enough authority figures that, I mean, when they're not really pissed, you can hear it,
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially when she goes full Niedermeyer from Animal House.
Oh my god, yeah.
Twisted Sister.
Although when she's yelling at Denise over the chicken, her content in that rant right there, that was fucking 100% on. Like, oh my god. God, what was she? Oh man,
God's beautiful creation.
Yes! Oh my god. And then...
that was way too sweet of an old lady voice. Get a growl in it.
So where the hell is John visiting from? Was it a Soul Asylum video? I mean, just the way he's dressed and everything. Oh my, he looks like he could be an extra in a fucking Soul Asylum video. I mean, he's not quite Seattle enough for, Nirvana or, Soundgarden or, any of them. But Soul Asylum, I mean, those were some nice Minnesota boys. But yeah, and then when Aunt Tess says, it's a necessary part of one of God's beautiful creatures and there's nothing gross about it. It just made me think, where does Aunt Tess stand on the whole circumcision debate then? I really fucking love Tom's OG cassette setup when he's rocking out in his bedroom. Mm-hmm. Especially that generic-ass Van Halen riff he was listening to.
Yeah. I mean, rock on, man.
Hell yeah. Oh my god. When Aunt Tess says, "Idle hands are the devil's tools." That was a great quote. I think the devil's tool is probably the tattoo I'm going to get on my cock.
I like it. So
Cam, if you're listening... Or loose for you, that matter too.
Put it on the taint.
No, that's where This Machine Kills Fascists is going. Oh my god. But you know what? Honestly, this movie did kind of, it made me, remember what waiting for a package felt like. Because honestly, I always get, tracking numbers or whatever, it made me, just...
What's the best delivery you've ever had to the house?
To this house or ever?
Ever.
Oh man, that's... when I was 19, I bought one of those, remember those, you ever seen one of those snuff bullets, Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, when I was 19, I had one of those shipped to my parents' house.
Phil Collins get the package first?
No, he didn't.
Lying to your parents, that's one of the fun tasks of being a teenager.
Yeah, seriously. And then just the way Denise delivered that line, "Is she dead?" It really... I fucking want to believe, hope against all hope, that Denise grew up after this, moved to San Francisco, and changed her name to Lisa.
Karen.
No, she's married to Johnny. Is he dead? And then, of course, when John says that college hadn't prepared him, to deal with a murder or anything like that. And, of course, Tom's all like, well, I'd hope not. You're a music major. Now, think about it. Why wouldn't a music major have to deal with, the occasional murder here nor there?
Or just hiding a body in general.
Exactly.
I mean, as the great George Carlin says, soft rock, also known as men without testicles.
Carlin, oh my god. And then, of course, when the dad's telling him, that he has such responsible kids, well, then why the fuck did they need a babysitter?
Fair point.
And, of course, he's on the phone with Denise, and where's Aunt Tess? And she slips and says, she's straight up dead. Why didn't anyone think to just say she's on the shitter?
I mean...
That's a good one. No questions asked.
I'm gonna start with anybody. If anybody asks who or where somebody is, she's dead.
I love it. And then, so you notice how Dad asks, like in that scene, Dad asks, while he's talking to Denise to talk to both Aunt Tess and John, but doesn't give a fuck about Tom.
I feel like Tom's the least likable character in all this, until of course he stabs a bitch.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess he had to earn his stripes, right?
All the young guns do.
And then just hearing Denise say, "Oh, hi, Mark," that just really, for me, strengthens it in my mind that she's actually fucking Lisa.
Three's a crowd.
and then, like, when they're debating, what to do after Aunt Tess is killed, the first thing John said, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't he say, he's like, "Oh, this is going to set my graduation back a whole year"?
You can still get your GED in prison.
Like 1 year in graduation, that's the one thing he's concerned about. I'm like, what the fuck? Although, I love how, when he's like, well, what are we gonna tell Dad? After, like, they're planning on getting rid of their aunt's body after she's dead, but lying to Dad is crossing the line.
I feel like he was in on this thing the whole time. Why wouldn't he want to kill his sister?
I'd believe it. I like how conclusively, though, watching this, and just, I guess I didn't really pick up on it, but yeah, Woodchipper, totally Denise's fucking idea.
I mean, yeah, she's the mind behind the whole thing. I mean,
she's the brains of the operation.
Yeah, you gotta have a woman in your crime operation for sure.
Although, oh my god, Tom's fucking heart must be ice cold, dude. I mean, seriously, just think about it. When they're cutting up Aunt Tess, they both John and Denise have power tools, right? So, like, the vibration's gonna, like, not only is it cutting very fast and everything, but the vibration's gonna, distract or I guess kind of dampen a little bit. When Tom goes in there with that little fucking handsaw, he's gonna feel every fucking stroke of the flesh, and not to mention, he's actually gonna have to, like, put muscle in, and he's gonna, oh my god.
Like it's the damn Civil War.
Dude, seriously, he's fucking brutal, man.
I mean, all the kids are so nonchalant with their being, with this whole operation, and then when Denise starts talking about, this is the last murder, right? Like it's like, oh, we might just decide, like, let's just take out all the enemies,
We're addicts now. And then, of course, like, when they're trying to figure out what to do before they throw in the wood chipper, they couldn't just bury her for the time being. They live in the middle of goddamn nowhere.
I mean, burying people is only so good, though,
Well, no, as a temporary fix.
You want to dig her up?
Christopher Moltisanti had to do it in The Sopranos.
I just think if it's worth doing, it's worth doing right.
Yeah, hey, I understand that. I'll drink to that. So then when Kim shows up, why does all of Kim's dialogue sound like he's just the fucking bad heel in, like, an 80s indie wrestling promo? Like, all of his dialogue sounds like he's just a heel doing a promo.
I mean,
I love it. I love it so fucking much.
He's an interesting character. I didn't know that Gene Wilder was a part of such a low-budget film, but the young Gene Wilder, maybe his best film. I mean... And look how he grows from that to Willy Wonka. God. I mean, it's not far off as a character, but you know how it goes.
And both are fucking nuts. It's too bad they didn't have him, like, blade, like, before they threw him in the wood chipper, just slice his forehead open with a goddamn razor. And then Kim, although he had that great dialogue that, of course, really sounds like an 80s heel. Oh, concussions aren't that serious. I've had my fair share. How'd you feel about that? I'm going to say that without prefacing it, but just tell me how you felt about that statement. Keep in mind the context, too.
I kind of feel like Kim every once in a while.
Well, I mean, I'm sure Kim was, as I know you are,
Where's my mother?
A recipient of the Memorial Award.
One good hit away from my diaper.
Pax, if you're not listening to this, I fucking swear, man. Although, after John took that hit to the ribs that somehow knocked him out, he got his head back in the game quick. You notice how he was, like, a little disoriented for a sec, but then he was able to, just run up and execute that perfect, takedown while Kim was looking into the wood chipper?
It was, I mean, fundamentals, man.
So yeah, how the fuck did Kim fit in that wood chipper, but Tess wouldn't?
That is a fair question. I mean, I think it was mostly just to mar him for a while, and then, oops, we dropped him.
Hey, I'd buy that for $1. When they threw Kim in, there wasn't enough blood, man.
I mean, that's a good quality wood chipper there.
Seriously. Kind of moving on to some final thoughts. This was the strangest episode of the Goldbergs that I saw. Okay, right?
Brian Callen definitely is playing Kim in that episode.
But really, it's a fun indie horror flick that it's not pretending to be anything that it's not. It was something that, honestly, it was just a dude with a VHS camcorder, like back when they were brand new, like something that I guess consumers were kind of buying for the first time, who I guess had a background in music, decided to make a movie, and I mean, for what it's worth, I enjoyed it, like, honestly, I feel like with the way things are today, like, I guess the state of how we observe media, the technology we have available as compared to, like, professional level technology versus, like, prosumer technology, just, basically what I'm saying is, I feel like this is a film that, could have only existed in the late 80s to early 90s, that was the only time it could have existed, and it's perfect,
Well, that poor acting can only exist in the 80s and 90s.
I'm sorry. Have you ever been to a high school theater production? I mean, as a veteran of high school theater, I bear the scars, and let me tell you what.
I feel like, that's where they got most of these characters.
Yeah, probably, man. Overall, did you enjoy the film?
Yeah, the ending was quite, we could have had a better ending and could have had a little more trouble. It's a fair film. No complaints. Great score. Kept me entertained.
Oh, definitely, right? All right. So, scale of 1 to 5 stars. How do you enjoy? Like, where do you rate it?
In comparison to,
I guess just in general, like if you were rating it on IMDb or something, 1 to 5 stars.
I would say a good 2.5 stars.
Okay. Fair enough. This one's a little bit different. So on the bad movie scale, 1 to 5, 5 being an excellent bad movie, just a true cult classic, 1 being awful, like you couldn't even finish on the bad movie scale. How many rooms are in this haunted mansion? That's another 1 to 5.
I'm trying to think.
I know that's a weird scale.
There's the angry Christian woman, so that helps a lot of things.
Yes, it does. Let's see. There's the fact. Well, I guess this doesn't really affect the film in any way, but just one of those heartwarming production stories. Look how many people on that film have the last name McBride. I mean, John McBride did most of it, but then Patricia McBride, I'm assuming is his mother, maybe? Mother, or maybe his real-life aunt, or...
Wife.
Much older sister? I mean, yeah. Wife?
Mistress.
No relation. Alright, so 1 to 5 rooms.
It's not stacked full, but, let's give 3 rooms.
3 rooms. I like that. That's probably... I'd probably rate it, 3.5, 4. No, I feel it. Alright, and then, of course, where we get the scale, of course, really, I wish Tommy Wiseau had to work with John McBride's budget, and also vice versa.
Yeah,
although, honestly, I feel like if those were reversed...
Tommy Wiseau had a huge budget for...
Tommy Wiseau had a huge budget, man.
Was it?
I mean, well, I think it was... I want to say off the top of my head, I want to say it was between 2 and 4 million, which, I mean, not a huge film budget, but when you watch The Room, and it's like, it cost that much money to shoot this. I mean, mainly it was shot simultaneously in both a digital and a film format.
First, you got to think they had to pay for the wood chipper, and originally they just rented it. But after you fucking grind up 2 humans, I don't know if you just bring it back.
I mean, like I think they'd probably take it back, and like if there's no damage, like I'll put it this way: like John's dad rented that wood chipper, right?
Mm-hmm.
I bet they were able to get the deposit back. Like, I'm just saying, like, so he returns the wood chipper on Monday and everything, and they're all like, yeah, it's returned, we had to clean it out and everything, but but we're keeping your deposit. I mean, an angry dad who has no idea what the fuck happened, I think he'd go in there and he'd be pissed off enough, and of course, angry old white dude at the hardware store, I mean, come on. Yeah, he'd get his money back, but then he'd come home and he'd probably yell at the kids and be like, what the fuck did you kids do in the goddamn wood chipper, they didn't want to give me my money back, so I had to cuss at him for, half an hour.
Why does it smell like Aunt Tess's snatch?
Because we cleaned it with gasoline.
The wood chipper or the snatch?
Both. But yeah, seriously. Although, I mean, honestly, if Tommy Wiseau had McBride's budget and vice versa, I think that would kind of kill some of the charm of both of these films.
Yeah, I mean, it's all God's creation.
All right, man. And, so the only I think I was thinking about it when I saw this film. The only reason I know about this film, the first reason I saw that is because of our mutual friend, Mr. Spidey York.
Oh, yes.
He, I remember there was some
only bachelor party I've ever been invited to.
Oh, my God. And, well, you still have the scar, right?
Of course.
You know, I have a tattoo over mine now, but I have it too.
What don't you have a tattoo over, Larson?
That's a damn good question. Yeah, anyway, just years ago, Spidey and I were talking about something, and he mentioned a film. He mentioned this film, but he wouldn't stop saying something about, you know, oh yeah, the movie where the guy gets shoved into the woodchipper. And of course, I'm like, oh, Fargo. And he's like, no, the only detail, like, he was telling me was the movie about the dude getting shoved into the woodchipper. And I'm like, yeah, fucking Fargo, but... It's this film, and, oh my God, I'm gonna have to hit him up. Spidey, hope you're listening as well, man. All right, well, Camden, dude, once again, loved having you. Thank you so much. It's been an honor.
It's been fun, man.
It's been a pleasure. Real quick, anyone you want to shout out while you're here on the show?
Nobody in particular. Listen to the podcast once it comes around. Too Good for a Name. We don't have sound quality like this, but we don't have some tech wizard behind the computer cranking numbers.
Yeah,
but,
me neither.
But, that's it.
Awesome. All right. Well, yeah, once again, that's Too Good for a Name. Please, once you know, sports are back in and you're looking for, you know, some good analytical commentary, yeah, check out Cam and his pals at Too Good for a Name. All right. Well, it's been an honor and a privilege, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, yeah.
God, why are belches always so fucking funny to me?